All right, in 3-6 notes, we're looking at perimeter of triangles. Okay, and we're going to try to relate this to a bunch of our old stuff that we have done just to try to keep you up on reviewing this. Okay, so perimeter. I know you've talked about perimeter before, and you know from previous classes that perimeter is the distance around the outside of something. So the distance around the outside of something. Okay. All right, so notice there's lots of different parts here. So in number 1, it says find x, identify the type of triangle, and name the largest angle. Okay, lots of different things happening here. So when you're given a picture, I know that there's no picture drawn, but in my mind I'm seeing a picture because this says in triangle ABC, the perimeter is 27. Well, when I see that, guys, geometry is pictures. I'm going to draw a picture. If you want your work to look like mine, and I think it would be easier when you're checking your answers, I will always draw my triangle looking exactly the same way. Because remember, we don't trust the picture, we trust the information. But what I mean by the same way is this. I will always make my triangle look like this. I will always put, remember angles are with capital letters. I will always put angle capital A at the top. I'll put angle B in the lower left and angle C in the lower right. Okay, so that we can match. And then if I'm labeling this, well, notice guys, let's just make some connections. AB, well, this is a different way. Capital A and capital B. From capital A to capital B, if I was drawing that on the side of the triangle, it's just a segment, right? I agree that side is a segment. So segment AB, also known as from our last video, do you agree that would also be side lowercase c because it's across from angle C? All right, but understand that's just another way to label this side. I'm going to call it side AB. So side AB is 2x plus 3. I should be labeling these. These are sides, so put them on the outside of the triangle. Side BC, this segment is 4x. And side CA, also known as AC, is 5x plus 2. Now you're just used to the picture being drawn for you, and that's what you see to start with. This one's just giving you the information, making you draw the picture. Okay, so if you take all of those pieces and you got everything in there, you can get rid of that. Okay, there's just your different sides. Okay, well then think about the following. 3 sides of a triangle add up, right? If I start in one spot and I add all of these, they add up to what's called perimeter. Okay, hopefully you're not saying, ooh, they add up to 180. Remember, those are angles. Angles add up to 180. So the 3 sides in a triangle add up to whatever the perimeter was. And that perimeter is sitting right there. They told us it was 27. So that should be telling you that your equation is 2x plus 3 plus 4x plus 5x plus 2 equals our perimeter of 27. Okay, combine like terms, 2, 4, and 5x is going to give us 11 x's. 3 plus 2 is 5 equals 27. Okay, if you're still needing, when you're solving equations, to take those extra steps and write minus 5 on both sides, please do it. Otherwise, I'm just going to say if you subtract 5 on both sides, you get 22. If you need to write divide by 11 on both sides, again, please do it. But 22 divided by 11 is 2. So finding x is one of our directions up here. So I'll go ahead and box that. Okay, next, we need to go to the triangle for part of our work. So I'm now going to pick up x equals 2 and plug it in for each of the sides. So on this side, AB, Okay, if I do 2 times 2, which is 4, and add 3, I'll get 7. I will know that you're just plugging them in. If you just put them like in parentheses under it, I'll know that you plugged x equals 2 in. Down here for BC, 4 times 2, that length would be 8. And for AC, 5 times 2 would be 10 plus 2. This length would be 12. All right, you're going to have to fill in all of those to be able to analyze the triangle, okay, and what it's called and so on and so forth. So now that we've got the 3 side lengths, let's go ahead and do a little practice. Okay, in order, the very first thing you should do is check this is a triangle. I'm just going to draw a triangle. Check that this is a triangle in the first place. Okay, we do want to start making the conscious effort of looking at the information given to us and seeing if it makes sense or not. Okay, so is this a triangle? Well, what you should be asking yourself is the triangle inequality. Do the 2 smaller sides add to be greater than the third? So 7 and 8 are the 2 smaller sides. Do they add to be greater than 12? And you should be going to the step that says 15 is greater than 12. So check, yes, it is a triangle. Okay, now that it's a triangle, because sometimes you will get answers in geometry, guys, where you'll check that and it doesn't make sense, okay? It'll not be a true statement. And then you'll just say, there's no triangle, okay? You'll love those problems because guess what? You're done with the work, all right? So just start thinking about that. All right, now that we know it's a triangle, let's classify it in as many ways as possible. So if I was identifying the type of triangle, right, that's this part, identifying the type of triangle, now that I know it's a triangle. Well, all 3 sides are different lengths, and that is the definition of scalene. Okay. If all 3 sides are different, you should know all 3 angles are different. But once again, you don't know if one of them is obtuse, if one of them is right, or if they're all acute. So you cannot name it based on angles. Okay. And the last question that it asked us was to name the largest angle. Okay. So coming down here, you should be saying, well, I know the largest angle is across from the largest side. And our largest side of 12 is here. So the angle across from it would be angle B. So I'm just going to say that our largest angle equals angle B. Okay. And now we have answered everything in that problem. All right, next. Looks like we're doing the same sort of stuff. Okay, I do see triangle ABC and I see perimeter. So again, try drawing it maybe yourself. Okay, and then come back and join me. All right, I'm going to put A, B, and C in those same spots like I told you. To promise them be the same. Label everything. Side AB is 2x plus 1. BC is 4x minus 1. CA is 1/2 x plus 7. Okay, the way you should write it. And we're ready to go because I know the 3 sides add up to perimeter. All right, so here we go. 2x plus 1 plus 1/2 x plus 7 plus 4x minus 1 equals perimeter, which is 33. Okay, hopefully you're getting comfortable and kind of an expert at this. Getting common denominators, so put everything over 1, all the terms, and multiply by the common denominator. Well, the only denominator down there is 2. So if we multiply by 2 over 1, you should be canceling those fractions. Your very next step should have no fractions. Okay, so why don't you try it and see what you can get from there. All right, so 2 over 1 times 2x over 1, 4x. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times a half, well, 2 goes into 2 once, and 1 times the 1x is just x. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 4x is 8x. 2 times -1 is -2. And 2 times 33 is 66. All right, combining like terms, 4x, 1x, and 8x. That would be 13 x's. 2 plus 14 is 16 minus 2 is back to 14 equals 66. Subtract 14 on both sides, you'll have 13x equals 52. Divide both sides by 13 and x will be 4. Finding x is one of the things they asked for, so I will go ahead and box that. What's the very next thing you should be doing with 4? Right, you should be picking it up and plugging it into the picture. So if you pick up 4, 2 times 4, I'm looking at side AB. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1. This length is 9. Side BC, 4 times 4 is 16 minus 1 is 15. So this length is 15. Okay, maybe I need to make that look a little bit better so you can tell it's a 9. And then plugging it into the last side, AC, half of 4. Well, half of 4 is 2, and 2 plus 7 is, again, 9. Again, the next thing you should always check, now that you've got numbers for the side lengths, is check that it's a triangle in the first place. Okay, and that's all you're going to see me write. So the 2 smaller sides are supposed to add to be greater than the third. So the 2 smaller are the 9 and the 9, has to be greater than 15. Don't stop there. Is 18 greater than 15? And yes, it is. Therefore, it's a triangle, which means you keep going with the work. Now that it is a triangle, let's remember that, well, I see 2 side lengths of 9. So if I have 2 side lengths that are equal, right, which I'll just mark them equal in blue. If I have 2 side lengths that are equal, that's called isosceles. And once again, if I have 2 side lengths that are equal, I do know the angles across from them are equal. Okay, they didn't ask this, but think about it. That means angle B equals angle C. However, that doesn't tell me anything about, are they both acute? Are all 3 of them acute? Is angle A a right angle? Is it an obtuse angle? So again, I can't give it any more names other than isosceles at this point. And then as far as the largest angle that they're asking you for, okay, notice largest angle. Well, the largest angle is going to be across from the largest side. So 15 being the largest side is across from angle A. So there's your largest angle. All right. Number 3. All right, they just changed it to shortest side. So they just changed the question a little bit. Still, I see it saying triangle ABC. All right, so I'm going to start with my picture triangle. A at the top, B in the lower left, C in the lower right. Oh, but notice this time, these are different. Those aren't sides. Those are angles. Okay, so put them in the appropriate place when you draw your picture. Angles go inside. So angle A is 2x plus 6. Angle B is 5x plus 10. And angle C is 3x plus 4. All right. I claim you should be able to come up with an equation. This is old stuff now, right? Notice they didn't give you a perimeter here because it's not angles that add to a perimeter, it's sides that add to perimeter. What do the 3 angles in a triangle add to? Right, 180. They are supplementary. So that should give you the equation 2x plus 6 plus 5x plus 10 plus 3x plus 4 equals 180. All right, combining like terms, 2 plus 5 plus 3, that's going to give us 10 x's. 6 plus 10 plus 4, so 16 plus 4, so 20, equals 180. Please write it if you need to get it right, but if you subtract 20 from both sides, you'll be left with 10x equals 160. Divide by 10 on both sides, x will equal 16. I'll box it because I'm looking for x. First thing you should always do, pick up those numbers and put them in the picture. Okay, so if I look at angle A, 2 times 16, 32, plus 6, this is 38 degrees. Okay, so I will just give you a hint. Don't draw your pictures too small when you're dealing with angles. All right, I sometimes do the same thing. All right, if I go with angle B, 5 times 16, and then add 10, so 5 times 16, 80 plus 10, this is 90 degrees. And angle C, 3 times 16 plus 4, so 3 times 16, 48 plus 4, this angle's 52 degrees. I would do a quick check and add 38, 90, and 52, make sure it adds to 180, make sure you didn't make a mistake. All right, now we're supposed to still identify this in as many ways as possible. So identifying this based on angles, because that's what I see drawn right now. Based on angles, you would call this a right triangle, because you've got a right angle. You've got a 90 degrees. So it is a right triangle. Likewise, if all the angles are different, like they are in this picture, that means all the sides across from them would be different. And you have a name for that. If all the sides are different, that is called scalene. Okay? That is called scalene. And then the shortest side is what we're asking this time. It's a different question, but still, you're still going with those relationships of what you know about sides and angles. So our shortest side will be across from the smallest angle. Okay, so if you let me get rid of these so we can just see that part, then we are talking about the smallest angle being 38 degrees. And so if this is the smallest angle, then the shortest side is this one. Okay. We know from past notes that we could call that lowercase a, but to be a little consistent, A is correct, and you'll see me write that in my answer. But to be a little consistent and to just use all capital letters, let's just call that side BC. Okay, so like segment BC. So we'll say the shortest side is BC. And like I said, just from past notes, A, lowercase a, would also be correct. Okay? And I'll let you know what I want you to do on tests and quizzes. All right, I think you've got enough of those to be able to do these relationships. These are supposed to be pretty quick, guys. When you get really good at it, you might not even have to draw a picture, but that's always my hint to you. Draw a picture real quickly for yourself if you need it. So in 4, if I've got triangle XYZ, all right, I'll just draw that real quick. There's XYZ. Those are all supposed to be capital letters. If it says XZ is the short side, that's this side, right? This side here that I'm emphasizing. So if XZ is the shortest, well, then the smallest angle is across from it. You would be telling me angle capital Y. Okay, capital Y. And then number 5, triangle GFH. All right, so fine. I'm going to draw another one. These are all capital letters. GFH. It says FG is the longest side. So we're talking about this one. And it does happen to be asking us for the largest angle. Okay, the largest is across from the largest. So we're talking angle capital H would be our answer there. All right, and then in the last one, in triangle PRQ, so once again, PRQ, it's asking you angle Q is the largest angle. All right, so this angle is the largest angle, and it happens to be asking for the longest side. So it would definitely be the one across from it. And we are going to call that side capital PR. Could it also be lowercase q? Yes. But just to make it easier, let's go ahead and make these all capital letters at this point for our notes. Notice the symbols that go with them. So we had angle Y, angle H, and this is side PR. Okay. So just make sure that you are realizing that these are all capital letters. Okay. All capital letters. All right, that's everything you need.